Welcome to this week's edition of the mma-analysis podcast. I am Lance, your host. Going by Scared Diamond today. I think that's pretty easy to figure out. Sean, how are you doing? YMCA. I like it.
What's that all about?
All right, R.I.P. His soul has been taken so many times. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how he's a human being anymore. Shout out to James Vick. He has given us so much.
Yep.
So much when it comes to money, when it comes to just joy watching him get flatlined in all different kinds of ways.
The muse for our boy Beast Mode on those
Beast Mode,
some excellent videos.
Oh
yeah,
I can only think of one person that's made me more money than James Vick, which is on the flip side, my man Do Bronx. I can't think of the amount of money that I've made on James Vick. Every fight, you just know he's going to get knocked out. Like he got these inflated lines, and we were just talking pre-show. James Vick was favored over Justin Gaethje, like 3 years ago?
After
punching
Gaethje
bag.
lost to Poirier and
human punching bag.
Alvarez.
Yep. Yeah. Tough. That's a tough one.
One of the greatest lines in MMA over the past few years is James Vick literally calling somebody a punching bag and then getting his shit pushed in, and the guy's doing backflips over top of your dead body. Like,
well, it was the
good
same.
Shit.
Well, that was around the same time as before he fought Gaethje. He was like, everyone in the top 10 ducking me. They don't want none of this. Me and my boy bro hugs. He licked my butthole. And like we do this podcast. I gamble. He's the most hated dude I can think of. And like
the worst.
And we were talking too, it's like, the whole thing with James Irvin, rape fan and all that. But
Lloyd Irvin. James Irvin. James Irvin.
He's not that bad.
Probably
You know what I
likes rape too,
but not that. Maybe.
But one of the main reasons we also hated James Vick was A, James Vick, B, bro hugs.
Yeah.
Was James Vick the inspiration for tall guy defense? Was he the inspiration for that?
I
don't know.
It might have been, but I feel like I've been saying it for a long time.
It seems like
he
might
was
be a
perfect for it.
Might be a step and Struve thing too.
Yeah. Probably right there. He just brought it to the next level because he embodied tall guy defense.
That's what it was.
He is so unlikable that I enjoy Dan Hooker knocking him out. Mm-hmm. And I hate Dan Hooker. That guy's awful.
But shout out Dan Hooker.
The recent interview. That was
tremendous. Like
I like the dude.
Him now.
Yeah, I actually he's not horrible. I like the dude.
If you guys didn't hear what he said, I know you guys in the show did. He basically said I was going to retire after the fight, but then I realized because I suck. But I also realized I suck at everything else. Like he's at least 5% Jewish.
I was going to say he's a closet Jew. Definitely a closet Jew.
Yeah, he's honorary. He likes some matzo balls and some latkes with a comment like that. Wes, you refuse to change your name on the StreamYard. We're lots of episodes in.
I know. I never think about it. I mean, Brad makes up some of the best shit you could ever imagine. I don't want people.
We do this every week, Wes. So
I don't.
Bit of time.
I never want to take away from the shine of the masterful shit that Brad comes up with week after week.
Oh, you just got to make up terrible shit. That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make fun.
I'm
of
not
it,
clever.
We bask in the glory of Brad's name.
I'm just not clever. I'm not clever enough.
Fair enough.
It's got to be spur of the moment. I struggled with one this week. Because usually I click on the card and I try and come up with a stupid nickname and plug that in. But
turns out it's a shitty card.
Well, I don't even think about it. Like I usually get down here, cause I go downstairs to record this, and I usually get down here 5 till we start, and then I'm like, oh, I need a name, and I'll pull up the fight card, and I'm and then this week I was ready to go with the Scared Diamond, Dustin Poirier. Talk about a guy who has went from we loved a couple days ago, 2 days ago.
Come on.
Maybe not loved. We liked a few days ago.
He's saying we don't hate him.
Hated. We hate Dustin Poirier. This is an anti-Dustin Poirier podcast. James Vick, Dustin Poirier. James Vick, Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Oh, sorry. We're only talking
about hater.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
When Poirier tweeted third times, whatever, rematch trilogy, dead to me. He's not allowed to fight for the belt. He can fight Nate Diaz. He can fight Conor McGregor. That's great. It's not like Dustin Poirier could be competitive with our boy. That's not a competitive fight. Like, how does he win that fight? That's the easiest fight, possible. Like, it was an easier fight for Do Bronx than Dustin Poirier. In the top 5, think about it. What's easier?
Connor?
Is Connor in the top 5? Did he move up in the rankings after losing?
Well,
yeah, that's very true.
Let's look at the real competitors, right, in the 155-pound division. You got Poirier, Gaethje, college wrestler, right? Like, if Do Bronx has to stand with Gaethje, I will be shitting, just everywhere, just kind of all over the place. But decent wrestler. Chandler, decent wrestler, dangerous in round 1, hard to take down, especially early. Those are tough matchups. Poirier, I'd give myself a chance to take Dustin down. I think I could get him down, take him for a ride, get him down pretty easy. It's an easy matchup for Do Bronx. So, it's good to be scared. It's good to admit your fears. It's good to be a smart businessman. But Poirier knows what the end of the road is, and that's fucking Do Bronx.
He doesn't want to go down that road.
I can't blame it. The funny thing is, like, I've been on the Do Bronx train when everyone called him a quitter, and he had the very traumatic esophagus injury, which thank God
he almost crushed.
Almost crushed for that fight.
Thank the big man for that recovery there. But I kind of it's funny how he's gone from laughing stock, he's a quitter, to at this point maybe the most feared fighter in the UFC, from fans, from fighters, everyone. No one wants a piece of this guy. And then they're trying to give
Look on Twitter, everybody's asking to fight for him to fight Poirier,
and no one wants it to.
That's what everybody's saying,
and that's how dumb the UFC is. Like the community at large wants that fight. They all recognize Do Bronx as like the legitimate dude to get a title shot, and it's a great fight. Like it's not a bad fight either. That's a great fight. Do Bronx against anybody up there is a great fight. He just makes them all great. They're scared. They really are. I think they're dodging this motherfucker. He's a problem. He's a fucking problem.
On the UFC side too, and entertain like us non-fight fans, right? Not at least he doesn't speak English. He's not very well known.
Yeah, they don't want it. They don't want it.
But look at it this way too. He has like a 98% finish rate. Like, this dude is just great. And I think the UFC needs some Brazilian champions again, right? Like, we've kind of lost that.
They all sold. All sold, like even Anderson and shit at the beginning. Like he didn't speak English and shit. Those motherfuckers weren't speaking English and they sold.
Do Bronx has the most submission finishes of all time, and I think he's now second most finishes of all time, or tied in first or something like that. And you can market that guy if you choose to, or you can be like, hey, Do Bronx, take this fight on 8 days' notice versus Chandler. Yeah, that was an absolute fucking joke. Like an absolute joke. Who's doing that? Like in his position, like, oh yeah, I'll fight fucking Michael Chandler on 8 days. Fuck that. That is so fucking dumb, man. And the thing I hate about this whole thing is how easy is this setup of how to. Like, I think if you asked 100 fans, I think 99 of those 100 fans do the following: Dustin Poirier, Do Bronx, belt. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, #1 contender fight.
We got
the
this
same card.
Yeah, we got this a few days ago.
Do whatever the fuck you want with Conor McGregor. If Nate doesn't
I even have a plan for him, Lance. I had the plan for him that I said on the podcast. He fights Nate the third time, and then the winner of that fight fights a fight between RDA and Ferguson, and then the winner of that title shot.
Brad went all the way down to like the top 8 guys, and it's easy.
Well, I think Conor's going to stay at 155 no matter what. I think his goal. I think he's embarrassed now. I actually think Conor might come back okay. I think he's embarrassed by his performance. What happened?
Good in that fight.
Yeah.
Learn how to fucking check a kick and
we talked
out.
Yeah, we talked about it. Like he had Dustin hurt. I mean,
Yep. So I don't think Conor's going to fight Nate next because Nate doesn't want to fight 155, and I don't think Conor has any interest in going back to 170. I think he wants to get that strap at 155 and get a rematch with Dustin, whatever. I'm making Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson. Ferguson's washed his shit. He looks like a 72-year-old man, but he's still got that name. He's still up there. You could easily make that a main event, Tony Ferguson versus Conor. And I think Tony would make Conor look back. And then you can set up a big fight with Conor against Dustin, whatever. But Tony's so watched.
What if Tony literally though just straight double legs him though and
he won't go Tony? He'll try like a cartwheel kick instead.
Probably,
he could leg lock him. But what Conor lost by leg lock early in his career.
Yeah, what if Tony does do that? Like the UFC can't have Ferguson like fucking up McGregor like that.
Well, there's a better chance that Poirier retires McGregor if they
that
fight
fight's
again.
happening. That fight's happening.
If
Conor wants it, that fight's going to happen. And I think he wants it because you're right. I think he's embarrassed by that. He's still usually Conor disappears after fights, win or loss. He's talking like he's in the,
Well, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But I think in Conor's mind, he blew that fight. He thought he was the better man on that night. He was the better fighter, and he beats Dustin 9 out of 100 times. Maybe he's right. Conor didn't think about the leg kicks. He didn't check the leg kicks. He didn't go to do his game plan. Like he didn't do any of that. Funny enough, if Conor wanted, you know the easiest way for Conor to beat Dustin Poirier? Take him down. There's nobody worse. Dustin Poirier is the worst grappler in the UFC. We've seen like the Max fight and like Conor, he trains and he's a hard worker. Like you could train wrestling 15 minutes and be a better wrestler than Dustin Poirier.
Gas out, Lance.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Conor lost because he gassed out. I think his leg fucking hurt and he quit.
Those muscles aren't going to help.
When we did the review show, like I think Sean's right there too. He's way too bulky. The guy needs to lean out a little bit, and it wasn't just a leg kick in that fight. He got caught. Like he got countered. Dustin caught him with that counter at the end of the first round, and that same punch and setup finished him in the second round. Like Dustin got him in that fight, but I think you're right. Conor's embarrassed. I don't think that I would favor Conor in a rematch, honestly.
Same. I think if that does happen, we would get a good line on Conor.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a whole lot closer to even and shit. It's going to be a whole lot closer.
I saw a minus 140 McGregor, plus 120 Poirier that somebody put out there. Yeah, it's probably come down because the hype's all on.
Minus 105.
I would have to bet Conor pretty good in that fight. I still favor him, and I think that fight's going to happen. Conor wants it, and Conor gets what he wants.
I don't think it is. I really don't. I don't see it happening next. I see them needing it. Conor gets a win. It's a bigger fight, but then the flip side, you waste that, right? Do Bronx comes in.
Westgate 110 each way.
There you go.
I'm betting Conor. If it happens, I'm taking him again.
I don't want it to happen.
I just hope that Poirier doesn't calf kick him again so hard that he gives him a concussion. Because man, those calf kicks, there's the head trauma from them.
Or can we get Conor to get a coach that's going to tell him, "Hey, dude, watch out for the calf kick." You think the greatest coach
needs that scouting. He needs that scouting report from.
His guy's retired now. He's retired. He's got time.
He's got time for those fucking. And the man knows how to throw and teach a guy to catch a leg kick.
Yeah. He can probably teach Conor some sweet arm bars and stuff too.
Yeah,
just hold those guys there until the cops come.
I'm still not at the point where I'm going to be super angry until any of this happens. I'm going to try to remain positive.
It seems like we're going to get the Conor fight somewhat soon, which is better than once a year, which makes things good for the lightweight division. Either he's going to be fighting, or it's going to be another big fight, and then we get a really good fight. I mean, if it's a title, something good is going to happen.
If they do Conor versus Poirier and co-main Gaethje versus Do Bronx, I'm not going to be depressed. I'm gonna be angry because the best fighter in the division is not fighting in the main event for the belt, but I would be
do it soon. Like if they do it, and like if Conor's talking May and Poirier saying today, I'm down with May. If they do that in May and then winners fight for that belt, like in a few months after that, or at the end of the year, November, I'm cool with that. But I'm with Lance. I'm gonna be pretty aggravated. And I know I'm going to be aggravated because I don't think he's getting it. I just don't think he's getting it.
He's going to end up fighting the winner of Beneil Dariush. That's what the UFC is going to do.
Well, here's the one thing. The reason I don't think it'll happen, or maybe it will, because UFC doesn't really matter, and there's not a real sport or any of this. But are we going to give if Dustin Poirier fights Conor, he's going to want the belt on the line, right? With Khabib gone, everything else. We really going to give Conor a shot at the title when he hasn't won in like 5 years? Like, is that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we going to do that? Because if Dustin wants to fight Conor, great. Justin Gaethje versus Do Bronx for the strap. I wouldn't be a little tiny bit mad. I'd be completely cool with that. Dustin, you have a choice. You fight Conor for a money fight, or you get submitted by Do Bronx. I don't blame Poirier.
Conor gets what he wants, man. He is the show. He is the UFC. What, good or bad, Dana does what the fuck he says.
Supposedly, like that.
Yeah, he's the show, man.
Yeah. And that's why he doesn't need to be in the title picture, because any Conor fight's a big fight. You don't need to do that.
Think for Conor, I think he wants to. I do feel like he's the kind of guy that would want to earn, a title shot and earn stuff like that. People, you can hate Conor all you want, but that guy has not taken any shortcuts in his career.
No,
he has fought the best they've put in front of him. He has never avoided anyone. He's only took the toughest fights. He's wanted rematch when he loses fights instantly because he wants to redeem himself. He's not a guy that ducks people, and he's a guy that earned his title shot. Like, I feel like coming up, people are like, "Oh, this guy hasn't earned it." I'm like, yeah, he just fucking embarrassed Chad Mendes, who at that point we thought was the man, right? Like, he earned it.
But I mean, Dustin wants that belt on the line, and he's got a legit. He's got a legitimate gripe. He wants the belt on the line.
He doesn't get fucking pay-per-view points unless he's got a belt.
He wants the belt on the line.
Make that much.
If Dustin doesn't want the belt, if Dustin wanted the belt, why is he calling out Nate Diaz?
I mean,
we'll fight him for the belt because he has a lot of power at this point.
Poirier?
He just beat.
I'll show you how much power Poirier has. None.
I don't know, man. He just beat McGregor.
I want you to go find 100 people on the street with a mask on and ask them who Dustin Poirier is, and they're gonna go, isn't he the dude that is that guy that Conor fought? I've never heard of him. You think people are like, oh my god, where's Dustin Poirier fight next?
I think they know a little bit more who he is now. That was
the guy that fought Conor.
The guy that literally knocked Conor the fuck out is something a little different, though.
Was anyone talking about Dustin Poirier in the casual scene after the fight? No, they were talking about Conor McGregor getting knocked out by some dude. Poirier has no power here. If Poirier retired tomorrow, what would the UFC do? Nothing.
Yeah, I don't even feel like Poirier's gotten the Diaz bump.
No, because there was no shit talking. There was no fun. There was no big interviews that were on ESPN. There was none of that. It was a highlight of him knocking him out. All good, all great. He's not the guy. He's not the man. I love Dustin until today.
I sent back some of his hot sauce today.
That's gonna be a dope. That's gonna
that guy.
That's gonna be a Do Bronx situation too, though, with a belt. Like you're saying, nobody know. Like literally nobody will.
Do Bronx has always asked for give me the toughest guy. Do Bronx isn't calling unranked fighters who haven't fought in 2 years like Dustin Poirier. I got the biggest min of my life. I want to get the belt. Nate Diaz, I'm coming for you. What? Fuck you, man.
I agree.
Wants to make money.
He's
probably only got 2 or 3 fights left in his career.
Isn't he like 31?
Yeah, he's a fucking old 30.
Yeah, that dude.
He is. He's taking some beatings.
His chin's good though.
Forever.
He looks better than ever. He's fine. But I get it.
Make him in Do Bronx. That's the fight. If it was on merit and
yeah, but that's why
it's so easy that we know that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know it's not happening.
Can we move on and stop making?
Yeah, I think if you do, let's say you did Conor versus Nate, which I don't think makes sense, but let's say you do that, and then you get Hooker and Ferguson too, whatever. Like the 155, like my son who's 4 could be like, yeah, fucking Do Bronx, Dustin. Like it's not hard to figure out. That's why it's not gonna go very well.
It's not gonna happen. Yep.
Yeah, I don't care. Bring Nick Lentz back. We'll fuck Nick Lentz up again. We'll do whatever. All I know is Dustin Poirier is no longer a fan of the mma-analysis.
Oh, stop.
He's
Dustin Poirier.
The mma-analysis.
Can someone find out a rival charity to his good fight club?
The bad fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna donate to like the opposite of what is the good fight club?
Is Mike Vick still running any kind of
the dog fight?
Is it schools? Is Poirier do schools or something? What's his charity?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I think it's for
It's like the Zoolander thing where they teach underprivileged Oh, we can't say that
to
anymore.
read good.
Yeah.
And do other stuff good too.
All right, so we'll do the opposite. We're gonna start a charity to get kids to like drop out of school and like fling rock,
Fight. Yeah, fight
fling
for
rock
money.
and fight. How to defend themselves during a drug deal. The good fight.
Always carry a
That's what we'll
switchblade, kids.
But Dustin Poirier is fucking dead to us. He is dead to us forever. He is on the list. You don't get off the list. It's impossible to get off the list.
Wait, is that
Once
Chandler's
you're there-
list?
Huh?
Is that Chandler's list?
Chandler's list.
Chandler's close to the list, actually. He's a psychotic. He's a bit out there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's good right now, though.
so I think that's good for some pre-fight talk. The other thing is shout out my man who's now on
Stephen A.
the top
Smith.
of the good Stephen A. Smith. Hey, raise a glass to MMA analyst Stephen A. Smith. You know, we applaud you, Steve. He's getting a lot of shit. I don't get shit when I dog. Is that because I watch MMA and he doesn't? Like, I talk about how bad women's MMA is all the time. People will say, great, keep fighting the fight. He says it, and people hate him. That's racism. That's that. They're racist.
Yeah.
But this is my white privilege talking here that I don't get shit for that.
That's right. Enjoy it, Lance.
It's beautiful. Like, he's, first of all, personal opinion of his. So, like, there's someone that's in your fucking Congress right now that has some personal opinions.
He does. He does.
So you can have personal opinions. They can be bad and wrong. But this one is absolutely correct and right.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
And then like people
the
were
majority of this shit is so bad.
people were tweeting and commenting on the thing, and they're like, "That's some of the best fights ever." Blah blah blah.
There was
and this.
one-
I'm like,
Yeah, it was
good
one.
fight
It was one, and they brought up the one good fight that we've had in like the
for
past
every
5 years.
Joanna and fucking Weegley or whatever her name is. You get 20 Sarah Morasses against Hello.
yeah, anyone who says that women's MMA is just as exciting or super exciting or awesome watches like only main cards and then skips the women's fights.
We-
Shit's torture,
I was going to say
man.
they need to get
We
this
were
up.
we were like watching the chick fight last week on Zoom together, and we're all just kind of like shocked that we were watching an action fight. But we were like, is this fight good, or am I just like really drunk right now? It's like, no, I think it's probably good.
The problem is, even when it's good, I don't care. Don't, it's like when people
Everyone's
say,
name's
"Oh, everyone."
Jessica I and Joanne Calderwood.
Well, it's like I barely could pay attention to that. But it's like when people say like, "Oh, everyone said this card was gonna suck and it's a banger. It was a great card." No, it's not a great card because none of the fights mattered. That's all the women's divisions, even the title fights. It's like, okay, Nunez loses to Megan Anderson. Okay, like, okay, cool. Like, who cares?
Yeah, 145 is a absolute dumpster
Same with
fire.
135, 125, and 115. It's about the same.
It's just not good.
Not good.
For the most part. Like, there's
So-
tons of shitty fucking men's fights, but there's a lot of shitty women's fights.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a different
The
level of shitty.
proportion is a little out of balance.
Yes, and I think with like a shitty men's fight, a regular fight, you keep watching because like there's a chance. There's a chance you could land something. You can land something big. We can finish this fight. We can still see something exciting. No chance in the women's division. None. It's just like, God, I feel like I'm watching this for like 8 hours. I got 14 minutes and 12 seconds left. God help me.
Brad's
Big guy.
got to walk his dog. You know,
Yeah.
Turk has to walk.
That's
Yeah.
Kinda
damn
like,
right.
It's like the mini intermissions that they have over in like Japan and stuff like
Mhm.
that. We just get them while fights are going on.
I was going to say
Rather an
it's like when you
intermission.
go to like a hockey game or something like that and they put the little kids on during the intermissions.
We could get
The
some
old
like
half
midget
court.
fighting or some shit instead. Like I'd be down for that.
You're not allowed to say that, Lance, anymore. They're called flyweights, all right?
Come on.
Hey, I was a flyweight in high school.
There we go.
Oh,
I
man.
was 125 in high school my senior year,
Oh
so
my goodness.
I can't say anything.
We did kilos, so I was 60 kilos, which is 132.
Well, it's
So-
funny because like all the flyweights in the UFC for the most part in MMA at 125, they're all like 5'3", like 5'2", 5'4". Like, was I a tall flyweight at like 5'7.5"?
Yeah, you're definitely above average for a flyweight.
I was taller. I didn't find anyone that was or wrestling anyone that was like very often stronger, but I wasn't always the tall. I love tall guys. They suck. Just like tall guys striking defense, even better in wrestling. They're like, hey, look at my horrible ass gangly legs. Like, just grab one, man. It's there. It's like the only time I'd shoot a single. Anyway, let's move on. But yeah, thank you, Stephen A. Smith. Fucking legend. We love you. Fan of the show.
Somebody had to say it.
Who would have thought going into tonight, Poirier out, Stephen A. in. 2021. It's our year. This is a good year.
We're taking over.
It's a good year. Oh. All right, let's move on. There are some fights on Saturday. They're pretty good. The main card's actually really good.
There's some high highs and some low lows on this one.
I would say the last 6 fights of this card are super strong. Really, really strong. Good fights.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, let's start off with some really bad fights. We get a back-to-back banger early on the card in the old women's division too. That's wonderful. God, I'm always gonna feel like women's MMA is like a test. What else could it be? Why? Like, if it wasn't a test, why do we have on back-to-back fights Molly McCann versus Laura Procópio? Isn't that like a shampoo? Versus Carol Rosa and Jocelyn Edwards. If it wasn't a test, and they weren't testing us to see if we would watch, it's kind of like the Truman Show, where there's like, they're really courting everything. They're like, all right, these stupid MMA fans. Now let's say if we charge $70 for a pay-per-view and we put Jessica I and JoJo on it, will they buy it? I'm like, well, probably. What if we make it so they can't buy it because the stream's broken and they have to buy it after they miss the first fight? Will they still buy it? And they're pulling the strings. They're pulling the strings. So basically, I'm paying for 3 fights, and one of them's Jessica I. Will they give me $75?
Almost in record numbers.
My God, I couldn't buy it. I stole it out of necessity.
Crystal clear, baby.
We were laughing so hard because that was the weekend. Dana's like, I'm getting you illegal streaming, fucks. Then his pay-per-view. Yeah, his pay-per-view doesn't work, so people had to steal it. You stupid fuck.
Oh God. All right. Let's start off here in the featherweight division where we have a couple flyweights fighting. As we have Ode to the Osbourne versus Jerome Rivera, who's seeing how quickly he can get cut. And I'm out. All right, we're going to go ahead and diversify these. We're going to split this, and it's gone. That's his career.
Shit. That's cold-blooded.
I'm not a good human. All right, let's go. New Sean.
Yeah, I don't have much on this fight. I guess Osbourne is more of a bantamweight. Rivera is more of a flyweight, and they're fighting at 45. So I think Osbourne will be the bigger fighter. Both these guys are pretty shitty. I think you should stay away from this fight for betting because they're both pretty flaky. I'll pick Osbourne to win, but yeah, I'm not feeling this first fight.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't have much on this fight either. I think they made this, what was it, this week?
4 hours ago?
Yesterday.
Yeah, it's like a really short notice fight. Rivera just fought not that long ago.
Crushed.
Both of these guys aren't great, but Sean's probably right. Osbourne's going to be the bigger guy here and probably just bodies up Rivera and shit. So probably a boring Osbourne decision. I want no part of this fight.
Bradley, and then I'm going to ask you a question, Bradley, get you thinking.
All right. For this fight, you've got a guy who just got out-wrestled by a flyweight, moving up to featherweight to fight a bantamweight who can't wrestle. But I still think he's probably big enough and fast enough, and he's black, so athletic enough to stop the shitty flyweight from taking him down, and he's a pretty decent striker. So I think Ode to Joy boxes him up on the feet, and probably not a finish. Rivera seems tough, but he also just fought 2 weeks ago, so.
Osbourne getting guillotined versus Boom Boom. Rivera.
Everyone gets guillotined by Boom Boom.
Mm-hmm.
But he sucks.
Everybody shitty gets guillotined by Boom Boom.
What's Rivera's sub? What we got? We got anything on that yet?
I think we only have like specific. 400. I see. 400.
He's plus 160 money line and plus 400 sub, and that's really the only way he can win.
That's his path. Yeah. That way, and then
not a bad line. Plus
what's
400.
Osbourne decision? Osbourne decision is 210. Those are your two options there, I think.
I'm kind of like a little more Osbourne decision if I was going anything, but Jerome, that's Rivera's path. Absolutely right.
Might be worth a little stabby stab. Despite my joking earlier comments, I'm going with send it in, Jerome Rivera. Why isn't that his nickname? Anyway,
because MMA fighters aren't smart.
I'm going Rivera here. I think this fight somehow ends up on the ground. It could be a guard pole situation. It could be Ode doing something stupid. I think this fight ends up somehow getting to the ground, and I think Rivera can grab a neck, grab a sub. Why not? And send it in Jerome. That was just a pure miss. Maybe is he young? That was a long time ago now, wasn't it? I bet Nushan has no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Absolutely
none.
Yeah. Sean, just Google. Yeah, Google. Send it in Jerome.
He'll probably understand it. It's
the greatest dunk of all time.
It's the announcer.
One of them.
Yeah, send it in, Jerome.
Yeah, one of the greatest announcers ever.
He played for Pitt, right?
Yeah. See our boy Derek Sparks. He knows. He's got it.
All right, let's move on to more shit.
This guy said, I live less than 15 minutes from where Osbourne trains, and I didn't hear of the Jimmy trains at or him until Monday.
That is a bad.
That's fucking great.
That's MMA.
So right Lance, after this fight, there might just be two cut. Like
Bill Rafferty, that's who it was. I couldn't think of the guy's name.
Yeah, Onions, baby.
Onions, yeah.
Hey,
that's the greatest.
That's the Swersk. Chuck Swersk.
Chuck Swerski used to call the rap games.
All right, let's move on now to the featherweight division as we have Seung-Woo Chu taking on Youssef Zalal. Sean, who is this fella?
The Korean fella is tough. He got the shit beaten out of him by Valiev and Gavin Tucker. But then he just beat a mook. So I don't think he's that good. He's just tough. Yeah. The problem is Zalal seems to be just overrated all the time. He's got some pretty inflated records. He did beat the guys I guess he's supposed to beat, and I guess the loss to Poirier isn't that bad in hindsight. I just don't know if he's decent, and Choi can take a punch, so he'll probably stick around for a while. So I'll stay away. I'll pick Zalal, but I don't want any of it.
Wes?
Yeah. Zalal ended up losing to Tapor. People's pretty high on him. He's future champ to MMA Twitter after he fought last time out. So, but in hindsight, it's probably not a horrible loss. I don't know. He seems flaky as hell, but Sean's right. Probably the best thing you can say about Choi is he's just tough. So he's probably going to stay in there. I'm going to say Zalal by decision here. If you was looking at anything, that's a little bit of plus money, but I don't want nothing on this fight either.
Brad, I always find it interesting when I've never heard of a guy. I've never seen the name in my dumb mind. And then I look at his fights, and I know for a fact I've seen him fight 3 times. Yep. No recollection.
You're talking about the Korean fella here?
Seung-Woo Chu. Is that his name? I've seen him fight 3 times.
Well, it's because you're pronouncing his name in the natural Korean, as you should.
Seung-Woo Chu.
The announcers always say it wrong, so it's their fault, not yours.
Well, it's tape study. Tape study. That's why you tape study, kids. You gotta be professionals like this. This is a professional look right here. This is
whole operation.
You gotta put in the hours. Hard work.
I mean, you ought to see the fucking studio mic he's got, and the setup. And this man is.
What is that stupid thing Dustin Poirier says? The guy we hate, paid in full. Yeah, tape study, paid in full. Fuck the good fight.
Does that mean like?
I think he
pays it in cash, or like he pays on credit card and then has a bunch of debt to pay off later because he's an MMA fighter that doesn't make any money.
That's true. You got to fucking sling hot sauce. This guy,
right?
Oh, what a pussy! Guy is a
Lance. He's diversifying.
As for this fight, man, Zalal, I don't think he's that good. He beat a bunch of bad guys in the pandemic year, and he got out wrestled by Jordan Griffin. That's not good. And I think he's the worst striker here. I think Choi wins if this stays on the feed. So I'm probably gonna take a little sprinkle on Choi. Zalal, we saw him get beat up a lot in his last fight. So I think it's probably going to be Choi decision, but I don't know what that prop is. I think it's around 400, but I think he's got a shot here because Zalal is not that great.
I don't know who this fella is, but I'm pretty confident Brad's going to lose his bet. He just is.
Yeah.
This is random Asian number 7 versus a guy who's not terrible, who beats most guys he's supposed to, who was pretty hyped up. Lost to a guy that ends up looking pretty good. And, yeah, I think Zalal takes it here. But this is not a fight I plan on wagering on. Really, if I look at it, I might be able to take a good hour and a half off between these fights. Maybe there'll be a basketball game on, some cricket, some rugby. I don't know. Something to kind of pass the time. But let's now move on to the women's flyweight division as we have the super athletic and in-shape Molly McCann taking on Laura Procópio. The shampoo, I think.
They don't call her meatballs for nothing.
Oh, isn't Procópio, is that like a hair thing?
Your hair falls out.
It's hair.
Yeah.
Trying to get.
Yes.
Oh, come on, Lance. You don't know that?
I wanted to tape study more. We had an internet outage in my area. I was down off and on because I was going to wake up at midnight last night, which is right when it went up. I was going to go to bed at 11, wake up at midnight, tape study through the night. Then the internet went out, so I missed my tape study. So it's not my fault. Newshound, what do you got here? I don't know anything about these people. I don't know if Procópio is a real fighter, if I made that up.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember her fight. They threw an absolute fuck ton of strikes, and they probably didn't hurt each other at all.
Wow. Did you tape study that one?
Just throwing a dart on that one. McCann seems to be overrated all the time. She beats some shitty people, but I think anybody decent can get her. I have no idea in this fight. I guess I will pick the dog. Procópio?
Sure.
It's not going to be good. It's not gonna be
No, it's not. But I like how you said, like, I remember her last fight, there was some strikes, no one got really hurt. There was a couple head and arm throws, a couple close arm bars, and then it was a split decision.
That's 90% of
a couple head and arms. Women's fight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I also hate women's fights too because I hate when they say head and arm throw because it's called a hip toss, and I think that just makes me a little angry. So maybe that's.
Tell them, Lance.
I mean, that's it as well. All right, Wes. I assume you got nothing here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick McCann, but she's always overrated as hell. So don't bet this fight. Stay fucking away from this shit.
Yeah,
Brad's looking for a prop right now. He's like,
but on like rugby props. Some shit. Do that, Bradley.
I wasn't looking at a prop. I actually Googled Procópio, and the first thing that pops up, Reuters, 6 hours ago, exclusive. Merck anti-baldness drug Procópio has long trail of suicide reports, records show.
Damn.
Now, bald people is probably completely unrelated to the Procópio. It's the people that went bald and they weren't married yet.
Yeah.
They got nothing left.
They tried to use this shit and it didn't work, and that was the last straw.
Most of them actually died of like alcoholism. Like fuck their liver up.
That can be suicide too, Lance. Come on, don't be insensitive.
Suicide by booze.
So what I'm trying to think here is, does that mean that Propecia is going to commit suicide, or that Molly McCann is going to commit suicide after she loses to her? Ooh. But this comes down to,
that is deep.
Do you want to fade Molly McCann or not? And most times I feel like I want to fade Molly McCann, so I might have a little bet here.
I usually do, and I just can never get it right with her fucking fights, man. Like, I've faded her so many times and lost.
Yeah.
She's so bad. She's fucking terrible. She's horrible.
Too much.
I don't even know if I bet on one of her fights, so I can't say that. But very, very average. All right. I got nothing, as you could probably guess by the Propecia and everything else that went with it. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. Let's just keep it rolling, just back to back, bang bang here.
Turner's gonna get a great walk.
Carol Rosa versus Jocelyn Edwards.
Oh God,
you Sean.
Jesus, you're talking about future title challenger Jocelyn Edwards.
Yeah, she was another one that was crowned after that.
She's the real deal, guys.
At least she's not ducking people like Poirier. Yeah. What's up, Dustin?
Some people like what they saw. I think she fought a terrible fighter, and she throws a bit of volume, so that will help out. But I think Rose is the better fighter. By how much, I don't know. I have better things to do than watch these terrible fights. If anything cool happens, I will go back and watch what happens, but I probably is going to be 15 minutes of a bunch of strikes that don't do much, and like Lance said, maybe a head and arm throw, and
hip toss.
It's going to be a split.
Yeah, not good. Wes?
Yeah, I don't have much here. I might take the dog and Toutmaster just to see. Maybe she's decent, but we don't fucking know. I don't. I guess if you're taking anything here, you got to look at the more proven fighter. But it's a total pass for me. I'm gonna take the dog.
Title challenger, Wes.
Yeah, you're missing out, man.
MMA Twitter, baby.
Future superstar. I like when they say not just like title challenger.
Yes, future star.
I like when they say future star. Like, let's say this lady wins the next 20 fights. Not a star.
Never. There's like seven. There's like 7 of them in all of MMA. Like, you're never gonna be a star ever.
Like, there's so few stars. Like, I don't know what we consider a star in MMA, but I know she's not going to be one. I'm quite confident. Brad,
hot take, Lance. Hot take.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's an over 2.5 at -235 for this fight.
You going under?
No.
Ladies always bring it.
I'm on a dog walk during this fight, so this better go as long as possible.
He's hoping he gets 15 minutes.
I don't miss the shit that I'm trying to get to.
That might be parlay worthy.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Because they're usually like 450 now.
So these girls are like one fight away from the title shot, right?
Yeah, they throw heaters.
Always. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. They throw heaters. All right,
get them in there with Nunes.
Let's now move on to the we're doing catch weight on this bad boy. We got Devontae Smith versus Justin Jaynes. Smith had the fight fall out. Jaynes comes in on short notice. I did like Smith a good bit as a slight underdog versus I forgot who is fighting. Guy that was going to lose to Smith.
Alex Silva.
Yeah, he's not fighting anymore. Jaynes is. You, Sean?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you with the previous fight. I was kind of eyeing him up. Man, this guy was the biggest favorite to lose, I think, the guy who knocked him out, Worthy, was the biggest underdog of last year or 2 years ago, whenever the hell that was. Feels like forever ago.
I think that one was 2 because last year was Shanna Dobson.
No. Yeah, like he obviously can be cracked. Justin Jaynes is not good, but he does have some power. So does Smith get caught twice in a row? It could happen. I think he's the better fighter, but Jaynes' power is keeping me away from betting him.
Yep, Wes.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all of what Sean said. I mean, and like he mentioned about you, I like Smith in the other matchup at a much better number against the other guy. Jaynes does have a little bit of power, man, and I don't think Smith gets finished like he did last time. I mean, we know Worthy does fucking hit like a truck. But you just never know when it's the guy's first fight back after something like that. And that power is kind of keeping me away. And there's no way I want to lay 3-1 on fucking Smith in this fight. And even him by TKO or inside the distance is pretty juiced up at this point.
It was like minus 150 for TKO.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how he wins, but do you want to even lay that juice on that chance of him getting caught by Jaynes? Absolutely not. He's going to be the pick for me, but I'm not betting this fight.
Yeah, it's interesting decision here for Justin Jaynes. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Takes a fight versus a very dangerous fighter where he's going to be a giant underdog on 5 days' notice, where the UFC does not care about your feelings. Probably gets cut if he loses this fight. Very weird decision there. Not good management. Maybe it's that Daniel Rubenstein
fella. Cash, man. When's the last time he fought?
He's fought a bunch of times because he's one of those guys that's only in the UFC because of COVID.
Yeah,
but he loses all the time, and he only makes 16 grand.
Well, he won his first one on short notice, where he came into that fight and just went for it in the first round and got it.
Yep.
And then he lost his next 2 fights against, fights that he actually had time to prepare for. And now he's coming back into his element in those short notice fights. He's going to come out like a bat out of hell. I wish I could say take Jaynes round 1, but it's only plus 400 at the one place that has it right now. The TKO price is the same, and that's the only way he's going to win. So you could take a shot at Jaynes in this one, but he probably doesn't get him, gasses, and gets finished.
Yeah, I think Smith wins more times than not. Like I said, I was going to have a bet on Smith, but at 3-1, that's just not something I'm going to lay. I think Smith more than likely is going to knock him out and win this fight, but just not something I'm willing to take here. Now let's move on to the featherweight division. We have Timur Valiev taking on short notice fight again, Martin Day, new shot.
Martin Day is so bad. I think the only reason he's getting one more shot in the UFC
is because everyone wants to fight.
It's because everybody wants to fight. It's the pandemic. Everybody's looking to get paid. I think Valiev is decent. I know he got caught last time out. He was a big favorite then, and he lost. He is a decent sized favorite now, but he probably should be a lot bigger because Day is that bad. He might go in a small, just chalk yes parlay for me. Valiev, I think he gets the win here by decision.
Wes?
Yeah, I'm on pretty much the same thinking there. Day is just absolutely horrible. I like Valiev here. I'm going to wait and see what the points handicap looks like because I'm not sure he gets Day out of there. It's kind of sketchy with little bitty Russian dudes that don't like to finish. So probably wait for the points handicap to come out, and hopefully I can get a little bit of a better line to make a chalk parlay with it.
Brad?
I really want to bet overs in this fight because you've got Valium, who is like normally this dude's just putting everybody to sleep. Watch every fight he ever had in World Series or PFL, went changed to PFL. I think he had one finish against Ed West.
Yeah,
the old Bellator guy, and that's it. But normally not an exciting fighter. And now he's coming off, it's a no contest now, but a loss where he actually went for a finish, gassed out, and got stopped himself. So this guy is
awesome.
He is going to be so fucking boring in this fight. But on the other side of the cage, it's Martin Day, the guy that got knocked out by Davy Grant. So, man, I do really want to bet the over here, but I'm passing for now. Let's see how many beers I get in me before this fight comes up on Saturday, because that might happen.
Yeah, I'm not touching this one. I just cannot lay that kind of juice on Valiev. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna root for him to lose just because it'd be funny. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I don't think Valiev is very good at all. He's not good at all. But man, Martin
He's
Day.
better than Martin Day.
Martin Day.
Come on, bro.
There's not much worse. The fact that I know everyone wants to fight. Yeah, pandemic fighting is it's huge. Like it's everywhere. This dude is on a 3-fight win streak, and the guys he's lost to like should mostly also be cut. like look at who he's lost to. Like Davey Grand, Pyongyang Liu, and Anderson Dos Santos. Losing to those 3 guys and getting finishes twice now gets you a 4th fight in the UFC. That is just tremendous. Like that's something. That is something. Hawaii fighters, baby.
Guys, we promise
want
that
it.
the main
They
card
bring
is actually good.
Yeah, we got one more bad fight.
We just gotta get there.
Light heavyweight division. Hey, Michael Johnson, Guida. I'm cool with that. It's a perfect fight. But light heavyweight division first. Mike Rodríguez versus Danilo Marques, who I do not know who that is. Nishon.
You know, it's kind of hard to trust Mike Rodríguez. He's kind of a choker. You know, he was trying to finish Herman. He couldn't do it, so he had to knee him in the balls. And then
big cheater.
He just gassed out, and then he got armbarred. I mean, that's a pretty big choke job from him.
After finishing a guy.
Nah, man,
Nope.
he kneed him in the balls. He didn't have the power to finish him with legal strikes, so he had to knee him in the balls, and they caught him, and then he just threw the fight away. The guy he's fighting is not good. He beat maybe one of the worst fighters in the light heavyweight division in a long time. Abragamov is the worst. So yeah, you can't take much from him. I kind of want to bet Mike Rodríguez, but I'm staying away. He's still kind of shitty.
Yeah, Wes.
Yeah, that shit last time was just absolute what MMA is.
Pure.
Yeah, it's at its purest form.
I was gonna pick one fight to show people to say, hey, show me the essence of MMA. I'd show that, and then I would show like some horror. I'd show like Ben Henderson, Frankie, the last one where Frankie won like every round. They're like unanimous.
Yeah, just man, that this is what we deal with.
We want.
I'm with Sean. I mean, Rodríguez should get this dude out of there, man. But fuck, I just don't know. Even though shit went wrong for him in that spot, man, he completely fucking choked away a fight against Ed fucking Herman in 2020. Like, come on, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Rodríguez. I think he gets this guy out of there, but I just it's another fight that I just feel anything could happen. So I'm gonna pass.
Brad.
Yeah, like Rodríguez could fall over his goofy tall legs and end up on his back against a guy who can grapple a bit. But
that's literally possible. Just Brad was not being sarcastic. He literally meant that. Just to clarify.
So I can't bet him just based on that. But man, this dude sucks.
Yeah.
3 fights ago for him, which was 2017. He armbarred Mark Polemeno, who brought in an astounding 0-16 record into that fight. So
that's an elite win.
Yeah, that's really like iron sharpening iron right there. You know?
Damn right.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is awful. Oh my god.
You are crazy. This is not awful. This is great. this is I mean, all I picture in my mind when I think about these prelims is just, a knock at the door, and then you open the door and there's 5,000 fighters just lined up begging to get on the card. Like, no. We're full. We have no room for you. We got too many fighters banging on my door trying to fight. It's great. 2021, 2020. Everything is amazing. I love it. All right. Yeah, I got Rodríguez here, I guess. Who cares? Let's now move on to we have some fights coming forward. Lightweight division. Michael Johnson, my man. Talk about someone who doesn't fuck up and blow fights. That's my man.
Speaking
MJ.
of one of the elite
he's the elite. Him and like Bobby Green are like fucking the elite of the elite.
Michael Johnson is
worse. Not even close.
Michael Johnson is Bobby
Way
Green
worse.
on speed.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Bobby Green loses because he doesn't do shit. Michael Johnson loses because he
does
dominates the fight, bell till he loses.
Yep.
It's really just tremendous. But he's taking on Clay Guida. True test from my man MJ, who's, man, I don't think I've ever been more wrong about a fighter in my life than Mike. You watch Michael Johnson when he's on, that dude's boxing is so crisp and he's so bad. And I don't get it.
He was fucking Gagey up, man. Like he was fucking Gagey up so bad, and then he wasn't.
He beat Barbosa for 15 minutes in a striking match.
Crazy. It is crazy.
He has so many good wins and so many great, hilarious losses.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin.
Yeah, he was smashing Thiago Moises, who's a decent fighter, and then
He was beating the shit out of him.
the strikes were 27-1 at the end of that fight, and Michael Johnson lost.
How about the Josh Emmett fight?
Yeah,
he won like 14 minutes and 45 seconds of that.
Was smoking him,
and then just deaded. I cried when that happened. I had such a large bet on Michael Johnson versus Josh Emmett. Oh, God,
Emmett like retweeted my fucking little gif I made of him knocking out Michael Johnson. That was so
MJ's
bad.
last win was Artem.
Ooh.
God.
Wow.
And I'm riding, baby. Let's do this.
This is the guy, though. This is the guy.
Yeah, this is a pretty good stylistic matchup, in my opinion. Guida is not good on the feet. He still can wrestle a bit. Johnson's shown fairly decent takedown defense. Sometimes there's some guys that take him down that probably shouldn't, but I think he'll be ready for that in this fight. This is gonna be the typical Michael Johnson fight. I think he wins a pretty one-sided striking
and then gets choked
decision.
out.
Then gets caught in some dumbass sub.
There's 15 seconds left, and MJ's dominating the strike. And he's like, "I'm gonna show off my wrestling." Oh God!
Yep.
Oh, it's so tight.
Oh my God! Yeah, I like Michael Johnson. I don't think I can lay the minus 200, 220.
Yeah, you can.
I might sprinkle him by decision at plus 145.
Right, he's putting Guida lights out.
There is only two people. There's only two people that have put Guida lights out, and
His
that's
chin is
Mendez
gone.
and fucking Brian Ortega round 3. So
I
don't think MJ is that. So I think he's gonna win by decision. It's plus 145. I might take a stab at that.
Guida's got nothing in the tank. Talk about this, Wes. We riding.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've gone on for a few minutes talking about how the performance is Michael Johnson, but the dude is seriously so fucking skilled, man. He's just a mental midget. He's given away so many fights to where he has absolutely dominated like decent competition. And I mean, Guida's almost 40 here, man. I mean, I like the decision as well. I think Guida is tough enough. He's going to run around and move enough and do his dumbass fucking hair shaking bullshit and feint, and then fucking circle, feint, circle. And MJ's going to chase him around and just do enough to get a decision in this fight. So I like Johnson by decision. It's I got like plus 140. And if you need a parlay piece, I think he's going to win this fight.
Hopefully it's wide because we don't want that Guida hair flying.
I don't think he can keep a striking match with MJ close. Yeah. The MJ thing is funny. I mean, he had a 3-year streak where he beat mostly all these guys in their prime: Lozon, Tebow, Melvin Guillard, Edson Barbosa, and Dustin Poirier. And then he loses 6 of his next 8, including to Darren Elkins, Stevie Ray, Thiago Moises, like all fights he was
Stevie
winning.
Ray loss was fucking.
Yeah, he probably lost.
If Michael Johnson could take one moment out of every fight, he has one of the best records in MMA. So bad. Wow. Brad?
So first of all, this has to set a UFC record for most losses combined in a fight, right?
Oh yeah.
Like 36 losses going into this fight.
Michael Johnson lost 2 in a row, got a win, lost 3 in a row, got a couple wins, and then lost 3 in a row again.
Nice.
That's 2 3-fight losing streaks in the last 4 years.
It's definitely the most UFC losses in a fight before.
Oh, it has to be
by a mile.
Yeah,
one would think.
I am sure there's probably some like Travis Fulton, Dan Severn fight where they each had 30 losses going into the fight or something. But at the UFC, I think this is a record. But I think another record might be that Michael Johnson has 6 finished losses in the second or third rounds of fights.
Probably winning all of those too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Except the Khabib one. He was losing that fight, I think.
He was definitely
like it was close, but
and didn't he win the first against Gaethje?
Yes.
He rocked Gaethje.
Yeah,
and he won the first against Moises.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think of the other one.
He was beating the shit out of Emmett. Yeah.
First of Emmett. God, this fucking guy. Oh man, he should find an org that only allows 2 rounds.
Yeah. So I really want to put some round 3 on Guida, but then it's Clay Guida and he doesn't finish anybody. I think his last round 3 finish was like a decade ago against
when he broke the Sando's jaw.
Yeah, exactly. He had the broken jaw. So Michael Johnson is going to win this fight until he loses it. I'm just not sure if that losing it happens inside 15 minutes to Clay Guida. But I bet Clay Guida against Bobby Green. I'm probably going to end up betting him here.
Michael Johnson, friend of the MMA-Analysis.
Absolutely.
We all like Michael Johnson. Good dude. Yeah. Good striker.
He seems like he smokes some good weed.
Funny thing with Michael Johnson, when you look at his record, right, all those third round finishes, all the times he's up 2 rounds and gets finished in the third or dominating and then loses, what would one think? That he has a bad gas tank. He doesn't. He doesn't have a bad gas tank.
Caught.
It makes absolutely no sense.
He's got a very good gas tank, but a very bad stupid tank.
He's really so. If you want to see MMA in a nutshell, Derek Lewis has like 7 third-round finishes, and Michael Johnson has been finished like 5 or 6 rounds in the third round. Yeah. Derek Lewis is gassed 15 seconds into fight, and he finished everyone in the third round. Michael Johnson, super fresh, gets caught clean with 10 seconds left. Even that third round versus Emmett, he was dominating the third round. Like all he had to do was like walk around for 5 more seconds, and he wins the fight.
Combine those 2 dudes, combine Michael Johnson and Derek Lewis, and you've got the greatest MMA fighter
ever. Yeah. So, and I think here, though, all the ways that Michael Johnson has lost fights, Clay Guida does none of the things that will lose Michael Johnson a fight.
Yeah.
Clay Guida is not going to be able to get Michael Johnson down to the ground, I don't think. Clay Guida is so washed. And if he does, I don't think he's going to be able to submit Michael Johnson. And I don't see how Michael loses this fight other than just something Michael Johnson-ish. So always possible, but I think this is on the feet. I think it's either a super wide decision for Michael Johnson, or I actually think Guida's going to come in and get caught coming in and get one clean. And I think Michael Johnson actually puts Clay Guida out of the fight and out of the UFC. So I'm going to take Michael Johnson here. I'm going to be parlaying him with someone else in the card. All right, let's move on to the main event, main card now as we start in the lightweight division. Great fight here. A really, really, really good fight. Probably my favorite fight in the card is we have Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Beneil Dariush. 2 awesome fighters. Fun fight. Nishan?
Yeah, this should be a blast. I think most of us on this podcast were kind of hoping that CDF would get a little bit of a bigger name after that Pettis finish. I thought that was pretty impressive. Dariush has been in some fucking fun fights lately. He has been clipped a decent amount, and as we've known for a while, his chin is pretty rough if you can crack it. He has improved his striking a lot lately. I just think these are CDF has improved a lot since their first fight. I think he can keep it on the feet, and I think he's a more dangerous guy on the feet. Dariush has come a long way, but If he gets clipped, he kind of goes into zombie mode, and luckily for him, he's been able to
losers
to win. Yeah, fighting guys.
Scott Holtzman
and Drakkar close.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, CDF is a motherfucker. I think he's very good, and I think it's just these guys are just kind of at different points in their career, which is kind of crazy because CDF is like 4 years older
He's old
than
as
him.
Shit.
But he just seems to be peaking right now. He seems much improved, and I think he's able to catch Dariush. I sprinkled a quarter unit on CDF by TKO at plus 500, and I put a unit and a half on CDF at minus 114.
Wes?
Yeah, man, CDF's made me a good little amount of money over the years, man. There was a while where you was getting him at dog prices against some Russians and shit a couple years ago and stuff. I believe this is a close fight, but I think if you like CDF, Sean definitely makes the right points that they probably cancel each other out and this turns into a kickboxing match. And I think that Dariush's striking has improved, but improved just enough to where he's confident now to where he will throw. And
this could be his downfall.
Yeah. And CDF, I think hits harder than him. And I think it's absolutely proven that CDF has a better chin, that he could take a couple of those shots to where, man, we've seen Dariush just completely slept and hurt bad at times. So it's been a while, but it was also, he's fighting like just a bunch of guys that I don't think he's really gotta worry about that. And I do worry a little bit about CDF having a year layoff, but he's had some layoffs at points in his career too. And he seems to always come back fine and ready to go. So, man, it's really close, man. I think Dariush is a really good fighter, but the chin, I think, is the question mark here. And I'm going to pick Dariush or pick CDF, and I'll probably end up having a small bet on him, but nothing big because I think it is a close fight.
Speaking of nothing big, Brad.
Oh, ouch.
Got him all day. All day. Look at these things. See that? Oh, huge.
What about those things
right here?
What about those things?
Like Chael Sonnen on steroids. Look at this.
How many pillows do you have in there?
Just it's a t-shirt, but it's a little baggy. But like, if you didn't know that, like, look at these fucking cannons I got going on here. Obviously this part, forearms. But anyway, Brad, go on.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from that really, but we'll
You
try.
go anywhere.
We'll try. Both of these guys are talented grapplers who used to be absolutely atrocious strikers, and they've both improved to the point where, like, Dariush is still kind of awkward, but he's pretty good, and CDF I think is actually like a solid all-around fighter at this point in his career, and I just think he's got maybe not more power, but in this fight, more finishing ability because of Dariush's chin. And I think he is the better grappler. So, man, I kind of like CDF at this pretty close to even price. I'm going to take him here. I always thought he was pretty good back in the Legacy days. And that little run that he went on where he lost 2 fights in a row doesn't look so bad in 2020 as it did in 2014 or 2015. Those guys turned out to be pretty good fighters, and he gets a chance to avenge one of those losses now, and I think he does it.
Yeah, Brad took a lot of what I was going to say around the striking, and like I think of it like this. Both these guys similar backgrounds with jiu-jitsu backers, both jiu-jitsu backgrounds and both jiu-jitsu guys. And how I kind of think of this really simply is Dariush looks like a jiu-jitsu guy who's learned striking. CDF looks like a striker. Like, I think to me that's as simple as it is. When Dariush is striking, he still looks to me like a goofy ass jiu-jitsu guy trying to learn kickboxing. Yeah. He's flailing all around, but he's an athletic guy. Like, he can throw some power, but he's just flailing. He's not technical. He's not tight. He throws really wide strikes. He's very loose, and he leaves himself open a lot, which is not good when you have a bad chin. CDF has technical striking. He looks like a good striker. CDF is almost in the same, how Do Bronx went, right? horrible striker, jiu-jitsu guy only, and now Do Bronx is more of a technical type striker versus a guy throwing wide strikes. Like they even talked about it, like everything Do Bronx does, even striking, is very technical and straight. And it's the same thing with CDF. I think that's kind of like a similar comparison between the two. And I think this fight stays in the feet. And Gary seems to want fights on the feet now. So I think, oblige him here. And I think this is a stand-up fight, and that chin's not holding up. I do worry about a 36-year-old taking a 1-year layoff, but at the same time, maybe a 36-year-old taking a 1-year layoff is a good thing.
Needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like CDF here. Definitely have a play on him. Let's now move on to the worst fight on the main card as we go to the featherweight division. As we have.
Is that not the consensus?
I don't care. It's Munich or bust.
I care about everybody, Lance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the consensus.
They're not
the consensus. I didn't forget when we were sponsored and we had the consensus bet of the week. But then Tony got murdered. It happened. It happened. I mean, Tony got murdered, so 5 times and couldn't pay us anymore. And
Dude Wipes, get at us.
Mark Cuban, Shark Tank. Mark Cuban bought Dude Wipes, and that was gone. Mark Cuban, not a fan. We're not a fan of the not a fan.
We need to get Dougie's his meal delivery service.
What happened to Dougie?
Yeah.
Just disappeared off the face of the earth.
His thing, man. He's grinding.
Sponsor us with Dash Dining.
Yeah.
Little free taste for
slanging
the
it.
listeners.
He's
Slanging and banging. All right. Yeah. Consensus. CDF. Booyah. All right. Featherweight division. Cody Stamann. Askar. I'm betting against this guy. I know who he is. I don't know if he's real. But I actually like Cody Stamann. I feel like he's one of those guys where every fight he has is super easy to break down. I don't know. Sean?
Yeah, I probably should know who Askar is.
Did you?
He's fought on LFA a couple times, but I don't know who he is. Supposedly, he's the number 1 ranked bantamweight in Indiana.
He just lost.
Who's he fighting, Marley?
He lost last year at Hoosier Fight Club.
Oh,
Hoosier Fight Club he lost last year, and now he's fighting Cody Stamann, and it's only like minus 400. That's missing a fucking zero.
Has he lost to Chris Lytle at some point?
Lytle would take him out now.
Lytle would clean him out first round.
Yeah. I mean, Stamann's good. I mean, he has his flaws, but he's a pretty good fighter. He doesn't finish though. He doesn't need to. He's been in 8 UFC fights. He's never finished. So I think if you don't want to lay that juice, him by decision, it's minus 140. It's a little juicy, but man, he does not seem like he can finish a fight. So I think he wins by decision. Even how shitty this guy is, he still can't finish him.
If he does, he eventually gets a finish, hopefully, right? If he does get a finish, it's probably going to be against Askar taking the fight on 5 days' notice. It's got to be. That's got to be the time it happens.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't fought like a bunch of shitty guys in the UFC. He's got a pretty good run, and most of the guys are very tough. So
almost all good guys.
Maybe this is his spot to get a finish now that he's dropping down in competition a decent amount. But from what I've seen, he's fought a steady
state of good guys, hasn't he?
Yep.
Wes, Askar. That's his parents named him that.
Not to be confused with Askarov.
No,
those are actually two real guys. I kind of more agree with Sean here than thinking Stamann gets a finish. It is true. If he was gonna get one, this is probably the guy. Just he doesn't really fight. I don't think to finish fights. He fights to control guys and win rounds, which is smart, but it's usually boring as fuck. That's why nobody remembers Cody Stamann most of the time. Dude fought a really good lineup until he ran into Jimmy, and I was completely wrong about that fight.
Loaded a Jimmy on that fight. That was a big argument on the show, if I recall.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good call. Yeah, Stamann wasn't ready for that whatsoever. But I still think he's a really good fighter. He's still young in this game, but I'm picking him here. But if you want to bet it, it's probably by decision. Maybe wait for the points handicap to come out if they put one out on this fight. But I like him by decision.
You guys think too much. You go.
Break it down for us, Brad.
Stamann round 1 is plus 700,
Easy.
and Stamann by decision is minus 140.
Play them both.
You play both of those because one of them's gonna happen. This dude's only loss is in 40 seconds.
Yeah.
By like a big overhand right, probably. I've never seen it.
You talking about Askar?
Yeah. Askar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that how his dad yelled at him?
Yeah. He just thought that's what his name was because his dad kept yelling his first name repeatedly. But whatever. Anyway, Stamann's going to win this fight. Parlay him, I guess. It's a big price, but yeah, parlay him.
Askar's American? Didn't see that coming.
Well, you've got 2 levels of Midwest guys here. You've got like an actual athletic Midwest guy, and then some guy who had to move to the Midwest to try and be athletic because he's so unathletic.
He's at the Midwest Training Center though, and that's quite the camp. Midwest. Oh, all right. Yeah, I like Stamann here a good bit. I actually think he finishes in the second or third round with an arm triangle.
Ooh.
I think he's going to wear him down. This guy's on 5 days notice. Probably hasn't been in a lot of grueling fights. Stamann's a good wrestler. He's going to be on top a lot. And I think Stamann gets on top and finishes him late with an arm triangle. Sorry, Sean.
That's okay. I haven't played it yet, but
I'll be fine.
It'll be the first time Cody Stamann's finished anything in probably his entire life.
He didn't even finish the bad guys that he used to fight. That's the thing about Stamann.
That man can't even finish a 6-inch sub. He ain't finishing this guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, but what if you get loaded up with veggies? You get the peno, you got the banana peppers, you got the pickles, the lettuce. I mean, 6-inch subs, there's a foot long, but you can get those things pretty big. Get a little cold cut combo going. There's a lot that happens coming with the 6-inch sub. I like Stamann here. I think he finishes. I'm gonna be parlaying him with. I haven't bet yet because half these fights are going to be canceled. But I was looking at playing him with MJ. But let's now move on to a really fun fight here before we get to the Frankie Edgar show, baby. Flyweight division: Alexander Pantoja versus Manel Kape. You, Sean?
Yeah, Pantoja is a very good flyweight. He's been in there with some very, very good guys, and he's shown well. We've seen him have a pretty good chin. I know Figgy dropped him, but that's not the worst thing to happen. I mean, most people do. This is gonna be a tough round 1, I think. Kape has some really good stand up. I think if Pantoja can survive, mix in some wrestling, he'll be able to take over this fight. But could be a little scary in the first round. So I haven't played him yet. He's like minus 120. What is he? Minus 1. Yeah, something like that. I've been thinking about playing him small. I might play him live as well. I mean, I think he might lose that first round, but I want a little bit of action pre-fight too.
Yep. Wes?
Yeah, the live angle's going to be definitely worth the look because I'm taking Pantoja, and yeah, I love this fight, man. This is probably my favorite fight on the card. Pantoja's my boy, though. He's been my dude for a long time, and I mean it's been up and down betting on my boy Pantoja. I think Sean kind of hit on it though. Kape's he's going to be a motherfucker in that first round. It's going to be tough. He's going to be throwing some good strikes, and he hits hard. I think Pantoja does too, though. It's not like Pantoja doesn't have some first round finishes on guys that come at him and get wild. I don't think Kape's going to get wild, though. That dude's very technical. So I think it's more Pantoja's definitely going to have to survive the first. And after that, I think he can take over. I think he's definitely got the better gas tank in this fight. And he's going to be pushing forward and going for takedowns, man. And if this hits the mat, there's 2 levels here on the mat. Pantoja's legitimate down there. I think I'm going to sprinkle a little on round 1. It's around plus 200. That kind of, if Kape does catch him and get him out of there in the first, you cash that. And like I said, I think it's not crazy that Pantoja doesn't land something and get him out of there. He's got, like I said, some first round finishes. And then I like Pantoja straight. I'm going to play that small.
Bradley?
Yeah, there's a pretty good case to be made for Pantoja here. People talk about him as a great grappler at this point in his career, but when he was coming up and fighting Formiga, like way back, he was the better striker in that fight. And that was what he was more known for as he was coming up, and his jiu-jitsu kind of developed along the way. So I don't think he's completely out of his depth here in striking. Sean said that, even when he got rocked by Figgy, he managed to pull through that. And I think Figgy's got more power than the man of the Kape. But I think this really favors Pantoja. At some point, he's either going to land something on the feet or he's going to get it to the ground. And you look at one of Kape's big losses was against Ulka Sasaki, and Pantoja absolutely demolished that dude on the ground, and he was able to out-wrestle Kape. So you see the difference in the grappling, and I think that's going to be the difference here. So I've got Pantoja pretty big.
Yeah, I look at, yes, I think, like you guys said, I think Pantoja could hold his own on the feet. I think his striking is a little bit underrated. He's shown some good power. He's pretty technical. Like we were talking about Dariush, Pantoja doesn't like a jiu-jitsu guy who's attempting to strike. He looks like a good striker when he's in the feet. He's pretty technical. He throws straight punches. But I hope he's smart in this fight. There is no reason. And this is where you don't know. And Brazilians, I feel like
he's a little wild, dude.
Yeah, he gets wild with his striking. When he goes for a finish, he starts to power. He gets a little bit wider. And I do worry about that. And Brazilians can do some stupid shit. And if Pantoja's smart, this is a grappling match. He doesn't strike with him. He throws some jabs to set up his takedowns, and he takes his fight to the ground. It's not even close on the fight and on the feet. I don't see a reason why he would even engage on the feet. That's trouble. Like, yes, he could outstrike him. He could also get his head knocked off. It's one of the two. If he wrestles and turns into a grappling match and just constantly wrestles and kicks him down, gets on top, it's not a competitive fight. He seems stupid at times, but I think his chin's good enough where I think if he gets caught a little bit, he's going to get that oh shit moment. Like, okay, I tried. I thought about striking. I should probably take this down. Yeah. So I think overall, smarter Pantoja comes through, ends up getting this fight to the ground. And I think on top, it's just whatever he wants. And if he can get that takedown in the first round, even if he doesn't finish, he'll gas him out. He'll wear him out. Takedown will come easy in the second. He can possibly get him out of there. I looked at the sub prop, but it's only like plus 250. Which I think there's enough chance for a knockout, ground and pound finish, different things to happen late. But yeah, I think it's all Pantoja here, and it's like minus 130, minus 135, so it's not out of reach at this point from a straight bet.
This is the actual consensus.
Yeah, this is consensus.
The Pantoja was.
You guys were giving me shit. Like
we said,
no, Brad was giving me shit.
All right, well I'm on both those.
Yeah.
Sailors. All right, let's now move on to the co-main event of the evening. Easy fight to call here. Corey, I don't know what's Sandhagen takes on former UFC lightweight champion of the world, Jersey's own Frankie the Answer Edgar. New Sean.
Sandhagen's gonna fuck up Edgar. I know Lance is gonna tell you something different, but he cannot really do that with a straight face. We'll see if he can accomplish that. It is a bit concerning. Sandhagen can be taken down, but he's active enough on the bottom. I don't think Edgar can lay on him. I think Sandhagen can get up if he needs to, and then he's going to get fucked up on the feet. I know I've lost money on him before, so I might as well lose a bunch more money. Again, I lost a shit ton against Munoz. I'm going to do it again. I think Sandhagen is very, very good. I think that fight with Sterling, that rematch will happen at some point. He is much better than that quick loss. I got Sandhagen. I parlayed him with Usman next week, minus 122 for 2 units, and I took him inside the distance at plus 185 for another unit.
Sandhagen sucks. Wes
is going to fuck him up.
Yeah. Again, Lance is going to tell you something. And
so is Brad.
He probably should break out his whiteboard and just not
he's gonna
speak
need it.
and just write stick figures like double legging or
It's gonna
something.
say
Like
is Sandhagen the champion.
I think Sandhagen's gonna be Frankie here too. I'm not sure he gets Frankie out of there, man. Frankie's really tough, and I think Frankie could probably get a hold of him a couple of times there, but Sean's right, man. He's so active on the bottom. Sandhagen's got a really good get-up game, too. That guy scrambles and gets back to his feet. I'm not sure Frankie's going to be able to hold him down enough and work to win this fight, and that's how he's going to have to do it. Like on the feet, Sandhagen is going to absolutely piece him the fuck up. Say whatever you want about Sandhagen. His striking and volume on the feet is absolutely unbelievable. Do you think Frankie can take him down and hold him down for minutes of rounds to win those rounds? I don't see it personally. I like Sandhagen. I'm gonna wait for the points handicap to come out, and I'll be playing that in something.
Brad,
this is what Frankie Edgar does.
he wins.
He's in a weight class.
He hopefully gets shitty decisions.
He's in a weight class.
He just fucked up.
He becomes a top fighter in that weight class. He loses a couple fights, drops down to the next weight class, becomes a top fighter in that weight class, loses a couple fights, drops down to the next weight class, becomes a top fighter in that weight class. And this is part of him becoming a top bantamweight because there's going to be a title fight for Frankie Edgar if he wins this fight. I said if. There's a possibility that the tall, goofy guy with the ginger hair that he
Oh fuck!
There you go.
We're gonna get copyright infringed, Lance. They're gonna take all our money.
As long as you keep it under 30 seconds, you're good.
28.
Nailed it. He did it to Yair. Somebody said in the chat. He did it to Cub Swanson.
This ain't Yair. Come on.
Yair much more dangerous.
Come on.
Those guys were a weight class bigger, and he could out wrestle them, get on top, and just smash them.
Come on.
If you think that you're confident that Corey Sandhagen is just going to come out here and there's a chance that he doesn't get laid on by Frankie Edgar, and not even laid on, beaten up from the bottom.
Taken down.
Pound it out.
3-round fight. I think there is a better than plus 350 chance that Edgar wins this fight. I'm saying.
You know that Zhang fight was just like 2 fights ago, right? Where he got fucking annihilated. That's gonna happen again.
That's against the featherweight with
weight
power.
Class.
Sandhagen has power.
No, he doesn't.
He has power. And Frankie's cutting more weight now, so that chin is not as good.
He's fine.
So let's look at Sandhagen, right? I think everyone's a little high on him right now. You know, he had a bunch of shitty wins, then he got killed by Aljo, and then everyone's like, well, he knocked out Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes washed. We just didn't know it. We didn't know it.
I fucking knew it. What are you talking about?
We didn't know he was this washed. No one in
that's true.
Fight knew he was that washed.
Now he's washed.
He gets knocked out.
Even the people that thought that Sandhagen was going to win that fight thought he was going to do it late.
Yeah,
they didn't think it was going to be domination.
So he's dangerous.
The man still looked incredible doing it.
We're taking away that as a good win. It's not a
Frankie.
It's not a good win anymore. Moraes got knocked out by
this ain't Yair fucking Rodríguez.
This is not
I know Yair is maybe a little bit better wrestler.
True.
Here's the thing. Frankie, despite if you thought he won or not, I thought Frankie edged that fight. I thought Frankie did not look well in that fight. He did not.
He didn't win that fight, bro.
It was a close fight. It was a close fight that he lost.
But I think
it was close. Yeah, that he lost.
All right. Regardless of what you think, Frankie looked good in that fight. Frankie looked Frankie in that fight. Pedro way better on the ground. I would say more power than Sandhagen. Sandhagen, no wrestling defense, no takedown defense. You're telling me Frankie can't take this guy down for a couple rounds? Is Sandhagen is this Anthony Rumble Johnson? Like they're on the feet and Frankie's in fucking danger every second? Nah, this is Frankie Edgar taking this guy down. I don't think Frankie's even going to attempt to box. I think he knows Sandhagen. Frankie's a smart fighter, very smart fighter. This is grappling. If you're betting on Corey Sandhagen, you're saying he's going to out wrestle Frankie Edgar. That's all that's going to happen in this fight. This is USA wrestling. This is Frankie Edgar pushing him against the cage, taking him down, beating him up on top, and winning a decision. That's just what it is. Unless Sandhagen wants to quit.
I'll have what you're having tonight, Lance.
Unless he wants to quit.
I mean,
or whatever.
This is not competitive.
Plus 550 decision. I'm saying.
Frankie might choke him out, or Sandhagen might quit from the beating he's taking. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to take that damage.
This is pretty good.
I want to live in the land that fucking Lance is.
I mean,
we had the same discussion last year when he fought Pedro Munoz.
I get Lance's thinking though when you run around when your boy literally gets some of the fucking greasiest fucking 29-28s that you've ever seen.
He also took maybe the worst decision in the history of the UFC in a big fight.
Yep.
That Ben Henderson fight wasn't even remotely close.
Absolutely, he got it back. His very last fight.
Sandhagen's a dead man. He's a dead man. He's not just white. He's like a fucking. He's got some disorder of whiteness. He's so white. This guy's got no chance.
I think you're really underselling his ability to get back up off of the ground like a whole lot. And I don't think Frankie's not going right in on Sandhagen and just fucking dumping him. It's not happening. That guy's better than
I'll out wrestle Corey Sandhagen. Don't pass me with a good time.
Snoring.
Get in on that reach.
Fucking ankle.
Get in on that reach that Frankie's gonna have to get in on that reach. That dude's throwing fucking 100 strikes a fucking round. We'll see. We'll see.
Fuck Corey.
That's a lot of really long limbs to grab to get a takedown.
Yeah, it's so easy to take those tall, stupid guys down.
I hope he
really
calf kicks the fuck out of Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, I do too. I hope he does it a Connor style.
That's what I hope happens.
That's cheating, and those should be disallowed.
I hope it happens. That's what I'm pulling for. That's what I'm cheering for.
Why would
you're too tall, man? The air's too thin up there.
You think some stupid leg kick's gonna affect Frankie in Jersey? Has anyone from Jersey ever been stopped from a leg kick?
This dude's like 40 years old, man, going down to 135, fighting it. Like, come on, man. Those things matter. Those things matter.
You are fucking on one tonight, Lance.
The fucking brutal fight that the Pedro Munoz fight was just last time out. Dude's got to make that weight again. Almost 40. Yeah.
You put Pedro Munoz versus Corey Sandhagen tomorrow. Munoz is wiping him out of there. It's not competitive.
God,
white.
Lost your fucking
the
mind.
whiteness that this guy deals with. He what is that? He's got that disorder. What's the super white people?
What is they're the Procópio people.
Yeah,
alopecia.
So white.
Alopecia. That's no hair. That's not pasty.
Yeah, I know. That's albino.
Vitiligo is what fucking Michael Jackson has when you're allergic to sunlight.
That's allergic, but like the people that are like white have no pigment is albino.
Oh, albino. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. So yeah. Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
Domination. Let's go to
Sandhagen, albino. He's catching an L.
Yep.
That'll be the Donnie Donowitz play of the week there. But let's go to the heavyweight division now as we have Alistair Overeem taking on Alexander Volkov. Neutron.
This is a tough fight. Volkov is skilled. I know some people hate on him, Lance. Because of the way he fights. He doesn't have big power. He's a volume guy, and at heavyweight, that's kind of annoying. Luckily for Overeem, I think that kind of plays into his game. He's probably one of the most skilled strikers in the heavyweight division ever. His downfall is when he fights a guy with big power or that can take him down and smash him. I don't think Volkov's going to do that here. Volkov is decent on the feet, though, so I think this will be a close fight. But at like plus 160, I had to take Overeem for a small bet. I got 162. I think he can keep it close and win a decision.
Yeah. I agree with all that, but I just, man, somebody tweeted out the other day, I think it might have been Dan Tom, Reem is, even these fights he's won lately, he's been hurt or dropped in literally almost every one of them. I'm not saying Volkov's got, huge power or anything, but I mean, he's a heavyweight. Reem is 40 something now. And I mean, dude, the wars the guy's been in, I get taking a little shot on the price, I guess, but I haven't bet anything on this fight. And even Reem at some okay plus money. I don't feel like I can bring myself to do it. I guess I think more of Volkov than a lot of people do. I think the guys actually got some skill for a heavyweight. So I think this ends up kind of turning into almost a boring kickboxing match, man. Reem getting the short end of just exchanges, and Volkov just kind of moving like he usually does, throwing jabs and a whole lot of nothing. So yeah, Volkov's the pick, man. But I guess I can't fault anybody taking a shot on Reem here. It's still Reem. That's some plus money. So
yeah, this is actually pretty interesting fight for a not top 5 heavyweight fight. I think what Wes is saying is true, that Reem can lose some rounds in this fight. He can lose just based on Volkov being more active in the striking and throwing out jabs and little kicks and shit like that. But Volkov's also not as mobile as he used to be. He did the Frank Mir thing where he packed on like a shitload of muscle, and now he's kind of slower and can't get out of the way as much and not as agile. So I think that Reem might lose a round or two in this fight, but eventually he's going to get inside. He's going to get into clinch. He's going to rough him up in the clinch. He can probably get some takedowns on him. And I know everyone's impressed by Volkov getting up the 13,000 times he got taken down against Blades.
Very impressive.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why, and I also think that once Reem gets you down, he's a better top position grappler than Blades is. So I think Reem can have a lot of success in the grappling. He can have a lot of success in the clinch. And it's just a matter of he has to not get knocked out, and it so happens that he's fighting a Russian with no power. So.
Yeah. You remember when my boy Black Beast just bell to bell, knocking, just killing Volkov.
Shut up, man.
Just bell to bell, just beat down. Just because Volkov's like, I ain't top 5, and he was like,
I know it's like once every couple months I just wake up out of a dead sleep and all I see is fucking Black Beast highlight reel of all the bets I've been against.
Actually, I might take Black Beast might be up there with guys I've won the most money on. Tell you the truth, like
he's definitely one of the ones up there that I've lost the most money on.
Yeah, I've made some change on my boy. I don't. Volkov has shown. I know Blades is a far superior wrestler, obviously, than Alistair Overeem, but. We were talking before the show, too, and I was like, it's so funny how bad heavyweight MMA is, where a couple years ago, Reem was like, I'm going to be a wrestler. And he's like a top 10 wrestler in the division now. Like, that's how bad it is. And
heavyweights, baby.
Volkov has no wrestling. He has no idea what he's doing. Only reason Blades kind of stopped towards the end is he was gassing out real bad. That was gas. That wasn't anything, Volkov did or anything like that, which is why Blades is in fucking trouble soon. You're gonna gas out versus Volkov. Anyway, that's almost too easy to break down.
But he's top 5, Lance. He's top 5.
Yeah, baby.
Guy who gasses versus the Beast. I don't know. But yeah, I think the new Reem is a wrestler, right? Volkov has no takedown, and Reem he's brutal on top. He is a mean son of a bitch on top. And, Volkov's going to get hit. He's going to get hit on top. And I don't think he's going to take much. And Blades, sometimes he shows that viciousness when he's on top. But, like, in the fight, he was more control versus Volkov than brutality.
He's worried about Volkov from the bottom.
And Reem is not going to care about that. He's not Reem is going to base up and he is going to throw fucking bombs when he gets on top. And I just have little worry that Reem's not going to get the fight where he wants to. And Reem has become a very smart fighter. And I know he's gotten caught and finished in some dumb stuff but if you look at his last, 5-6 fights, outside of the Rosenstruck fight where he won almost all the fight, Reem has pretty much won almost all his rounds, all his fights. Like, Reem is on quite the streak for a 40-year-old guy, and he's done a great job changing his style, changing how he fights. He knows his chin isn't great. He knows he can win fights by taking guys down and beating them up, and he's gotten damn good at it. And I think he gets Volkov down early. I don't know if he finishes in the first round, but I kind of envision this. Reem gets him down first minute or so in the fight, beats him up for a while. Volkov barely survives. Reem gets him down early second, knocks him out on the ground, and I think that's what we're going to see here. I think Reem is just going to dismantle Volkov on the ground. It's not going to be a very competitive fight, and it took a while, but we're there. That's the Munich play of the week, baby. So easy winner here. Not a joke. Go ahead and play to Donnie too. That's gonna be an easy one with Frankie Edgar
and the fake consensus. We're on them all. It's a party.
We won. I think the last Munich, I believe, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
The consensus got canceled.
Chandler's list.
Yeah,
that was the good one. And is next week the Beast?
And you had Chiesa the week before?
Is this too easy? This game is easy. It's this tape study.
You should have had Lingo inside the week before. Yeah.
It's just this game's just easy.
You know what, sometimes
next week's a pay-per-view? Are they crazy?
You need
that's
one
Usman fucking Burns.
Man, I'd much rather pay the money for the Beast. When's that fight? That's the week after.
It's coming.
Man, they're giving me 2.7 plus 2.7. Round 5 knockout.
Get that clipboard. Get that whiteboard out. Top 5.
Man, Blades is a fake top 5. He's a chump.
You split it between round 3 and round 5. Because he might forget that it's a 5-round fight.
He might do it in
by accident.
If you didn't take Blades down a step or two after that Volkov fight, I don't know what to tell you. Beast ain't gonna play that game. He's not gonna come out and be soft in that 4th and 5th round versus gas Blades. He's gonna be big beasting. He's gonna be swinging and banging in there. Woo!
Good luck.
Is it gonna go up or down? Can I bet it now?
He's probably eating like 2 slabs of barbecue ribs right now
big.
as you say that shit.
He's in shape. Say what you want. He might gas out in the first 20 seconds, but we're talking about minute 24. My man's fresh.
I've never seen anything. The guy uses the strategy. I'm just gonna lay on my back here for fucking 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna knock the guy.
He meditates while he's down there, man.
I don't know if it was the Volkov fight or one of the fights, but one of the fights he was literally on the ground, and it was like he just decided it was time to get up. Like a guy was in
that's
like
all of his fights. What do you mean one of his fights?
That's his get
up.
No,
but all the fights he wins late. But there was one fight I remember specifically. It was like he had not been able to get up the whole fight, and there was like a minute left, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get up." It's like he just stood up, like there wasn't anyone on top of him. And he floors the guy. I think it was Volkov.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've seen that show a lot. It's
unfortunately.
You don't want to bet on Volkov, Wes. You can't do it. You gotta learn.
No, I'm not.
Mostly thinking about how he doesn't want to bet.
Not Volkov. Blade. Yeah. You gotta learn. Don't bet Blade. You're gonna lose.
I haven't bet anything on that fight. And
get on the train, man.
I've hit some Black Beast fights, a couple. I've just lost so much betting against him.
You cannot get even.
I'll never get even.
Big on this.
No, don't do it.
No.
Swanging, banging.
And banging.
Round 5.
My balls is hot, baby.
He's the greatest. But great show tonight, guys. Appreciate you guys listening. Always happy to do a show. Fun card, fun main card. Happy to be back. Sorry I couldn't make it last week. But any final comments? Everyone good?
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm gonna tune in for the main card. Fuck the rest of it.
Yeah,
I'll watch them all. I got nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
2-hour dog walk.
It's gonna be like fucking I think 0 here, like Saturday, Sunday. So
0. You're 0 or R0?
R0. Fahrenheit. It's gonna be like 0 here. Wind chill at like 12 under, something like that. So
here, we're not that far from me. But next week it's supposed to be 12 one day. That's pretty cold for Tennessee. 12.
It's these fuckers. It's them up there.
Who was listening to us is absolutely not listening anymore.
No.
We're talking about the weather.
Talking about the goddamn weather.
Cold.
I mean, I'm 40. I'm fucking 40, man. I spend like half my day watching weather. Like I'm 40 now.
I worked in baseball for 5 years. Like I literally just feel. One of the teams I worked for, one of my jobs was when there was weather, I was assigned to be like forecast guy to communicate with the umpires. I'm all about the weather. Big weather thing.
I gotta do it.
Got to. Anyway, Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
End this. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week to celebrate Frankie Edgar getting back into title contention. See you next week.